Hello. I want to send out love and compassion to all people that are suffering right now, who might be going through a difficult time. I'd also like to send out gratitude for people who are involved in the healthcare industry or on any level. Um, I'd like to express gratitude for that, and also want to say gratitude for people who have commented or uh, chimed in about the videos and said that these were useful for you in some way. I appreciate that. Before I play my song, I want to just talk about a couple things. First, I was thinking about this this thing that I've been starting to do with my hands lately. A lot of people who might know me might have noticed that's something that I used to not really do very much, and it's it's a for me. I kind of picked it up through this sort of mindfulness Buddhist practice, and it represents gratitude for me. Um, a lot of people might also kind of see it as like a praying hands kind of thing, which I think might make some people possibly uncomfortable. And but for me anyway, it's kind of like some teacher of mine told me that it was an originally. I don't really know the history of it or what it's for. It's there are a lot of different ways I've heard it explained, but for me, I kind of like the description a teacher of mine said once that it actually comes from sort of a Hindu history. Soldiers used to put their hands together like this to kind of show that they kind of came in peace, that their hands, they, by showing their hands, didn't have any kind of weapons, and they were, it was sort of like a white flag. And I kind of like that description. I think greeting people with that kind of sentiment and gesture has been very useful for me in sort of developing a practice of compassion, um, and I wanted to say that in reference to that, and then hopefully this practice could lead to just to a more active level of service, which I was talking kind of about in one of the videos before. And I wanted to say that if somebody's looking for a way to serve, and this seems to be like a theme that is popping up in these videos, and how the difficulty, the irony of us being told to remain in one place and to socially distance, but yet that's how we can serve. If you're looking for other ways to serve, it can be a very difficult thing. Like when you start thinking about it more deeply, like what's the best way to serve? Like there are so many places in the world that you could either offer your time or your money, and it can be kind of paralyzing sometimes to think about where the best thing. You could sit there and try to calculate exactly how much good this is doing, if where you put your money and who to trust or this or that. And it's like it can be kind of overwhelming and kind of do what it has done to me and probably does to a lot of people. It just becomes kind of overwhelming. So you just stop thinking about it and you just kind of put it over there. And that in the end, of course, doesn't really end up serving anybody. But even though that's part of a process which I think is important. For me, this past year, I've had an opportunity to do things to help out people here and there in ways that I never have in my life, volunteering and stuff. And I feel like the path towards that has been there's kind of this intermediate step that helped me a whole lot, and it was cultivating a sense of gratitude. And so this is sort of part of that. It's a little bit of a reminder for me to try and remember to be grateful for things. And I'll even have like one more really practical suggestion. I found this really cool app. It's totally free. It's called Grateful. You could search for it. And it kind of like gives you a little prompt at the end of the day to pick like 3 things in that day that you're grateful for. And if you find yourself doing just, they can be very simple little things. And if you can stick to a kind of a schedule of that, it's really interesting to see where that takes you. Just a simple timeout. It takes like 2 minutes to just think about 3 things that day. And, it's fun to try to think of different things, really simple. And through the course of time, it's kind of interesting to see how that how that can develop into kind of like a little bit of like a focus for what you might end up choosing to serve or donate your time or energy to. And you kind of don't have to think about it. If you just think about being grateful, it's an amazing thing how things will just come up and something will just feel like this is the right thing for me to be dedicating my energy and time to. And I'd highly recommend it, a gratefulness practice. Okay. This song I'm gonna play for you is something I've written, a somewhat new one within the past year or two. It's called "Difficult Love." I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this difficult love. Another fervent childhood, another frozen custard, another day of nothing left unsaid. Another diamond bullet, another Dollar Tree, another open book beside your bed. I used to be much better at the calms before the storms. I used to know which way the wind would blow. Pathway from the house out to the lawn, and now it's hard to know which way to go. Another stolen Oscar, another Another mired purchase, another piece of meat between your bread. A captivating midway, intimidating subway, another war for peace inside your head. And all those damn rehearsals that we put each other through, I guess at times our goals were less than art. And I wouldn't say that loving you is an easy thing to do, but every time you offer me the part, I'll say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this difficult love. Lots of foreign objects in the corners of the mirrors, all these different signs along the road. Many words were spoken that you didn't need to hear, but here's a few I'm sure that you are owed. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this difficult love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this difficult love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this difficult love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this difficult love. Thank you. I love you. Until we meet again.